From 4 MVPs to 3 NBA titles, LeBron James is one of the greatest players of our generation. We all know his story. He was drafted by the Cavaliers in 2003, then left in 2010 to join the Miami Heat. After 4 successful seasons and 2 championships, LeBron went back to his hometown and joined the Cleveland Cavaliers once again. This time, he was playing alongside NBA star Kyrie Irving. He would go on to make 3 straight finals in Cleveland and win a title in 2016. Just 2 years ago, LeBron was on top of the basketball world, and now he's struggling to even get past a young Boston team. I'ma be honest with you, LeBron James is leaving Cleveland, and that's the truth. Here's why. Now, if you haven't subscribed, make sure you hit that sub button to stay up to date with the NBA videos. At this stage in LeBron's career, he wants to win more than anything. He could care less about MVPs or all NBA teams. It's all about the rings because, quite honestly, that's what people remember the most. When it comes to the GOAT conversation, the first fact mentioned in any argument is the number of rings Jordan has versus the number of rings LeBron has. He knows that if he wants to be the GOAT, he needs more than just 3 rings. Don't get me wrong, his 3 rings are pretty impressive. 2 of them came in a Game 7, but it's clear that 3 is nowhere close to 6. As we've seen in this year's playoffs, this Cavs team just isn't built to win titles. Over the course of NBA history, most teams that have won an NBA championship has had at least 2 to 3 Hall of Famers, with only the exception of the 2004 Pistons team. The only other All-Star on the Cleveland Cavaliers is Kevin Love, and he's a fringe Hall of Famer. Now, Love has put up some respectable numbers since the Pacers series, but let's be honest, 2 stars isn't enough in today's NBA. The Cavs are missing a clear 3rd star, and that is so clear in this postseason. In order to compete with teams like Golden State and the Houston Rockets, you're gonna need at least 3 stars. I mean, let's take a look at Golden State. They have 4 All-Stars, 4 All-NBA guys. LeBron and Kevin Love just can't compete with a juggernaut like the Warriors, and same goes for the Rockets, with Chris Paul and James Harden. LeBron knows that if he wants to win, it's not going to be with this current Cavs team, and his best bet is heading out and teaming up with some better, more talented stars elsewhere. But what happened? Just 2 years ago, it looked like LeBron was going to spend the rest of his career in Cleveland after holding up that Larry O'Brien trophy once he came back from a 3-1 deficit in the NBA Finals. Well, the collapse of Cleveland and the evident departure of LeBron James all started when Kyrie Irving got traded back in August. The Cavs got Isaiah Thomas, Jay Crowder, Ante Zizic, and the eventual 8th pick in the draft in return. At the time, the trade actually seemed pretty fair. IT was coming off a season where he was top 5 in MVP voting, Jay Crowder had become a solid 3-and-D guy, and the Brooklyn pick had been top 3 the previous 2 years. But as the season progressed, the trade backfired pretty bad. IT was out until January, and Jay Crowder struggled to find any rhythm bouncing from the starting lineup to the bench. By February, the Cavs front office realized that this current team wasn't working, and they also had no idea what LeBron was planning to do this offseason. So they made the safe and smart move, and at the deadline, they kept the Brooklyn Nets pick and also acquired 3 players under the age of 30 in Rodney Hood, Larry Nance, Jordan Clarkson, and they also picked up vet George Hill. The only issue was that for the first time in a long time, LeBron was left without that 3rd star player. In fact, it was the first time he hasn't had a 3rd option since his days back in Cleveland in 2009. And the new look Cavs actually won their first couple of games, but after that, it became very clear that this was the worst team LeBron had been on in years. LeBron's been consistently great night in and night out, but the rest of the supporting cast just hasn't been there. They've been super inconsistent. For example, some nights Kevin Love looks like Minnesota Love and just goes off for 30 and 10. But sometimes he looks like a washed up vet and he seems unplayable. Same goes for guys like J.R. Smith, George Hill, Rodney Hood, and even Jordan Clarkson. There's nights where they'll have 15 points, and there's nights where Ty Lue can't even put them in the game. There's been no consistency among the supporting cast, and no one stepped up to become that 3rd option. In the postseason, we saw LeBron will his way against the Pacers, having multiple 40-point games and even hit a game-winning 3. But as for his teammates, they couldn't match his consistency. In the Toronto series, he got much better production from his teammates, but in the Boston series, the production just hasn't been there. Like I said earlier, the supporting cast has been super inconsistent, and this postseason just proves that. Some series are good, and some series they're flat out just unplayable. And fast forward to current day, the Cavs are down in the Boston series, and this may be the last time we ever see the King in a Cavs jersey. The Celtics were the team back in 2010 that defeated LeBron and forced him to go to Miami, and they're just 2 games away from doing the exact same thing 8 years later. LeBron's done more than enough for the city of Cleveland though. Before LeBron, Cleveland sports were struggling and they hadn't won a title in any professional sport in decades. But LeBron changed that. He changed the culture, and most importantly, he changed the city. He promised that he would win Cleveland a title, and he did exactly that. What else is there for him to do in this city? In my opinion, absolutely nothing. Teams like Boston, Philly, and Golden State are coming, and if he doesn't adapt, he may never win another ring, and that would completely end the GOAT conversation. A title that LeBron so desperately wants. It's time for LeBron to depart Cleveland and try to win rings somewhere else. Where that might be, I honestly couldn't tell you. LA, Houston, maybe Philly. But what I do know for sure is that LeBron is not staying in Cleveland. Now I want you guys to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. What do you think LeBron is going to end up doing this postseason? I'm going to post a poll about a couple hours after this video comes out. Make sure you guys vote. There is absolutely no way LeBron stays in Cleveland because he can't win with this team. And at the end of the day, it's all about the number of rings you have. And with this Cavs team, how many more rings do you really see them winning? I don't see many. He's much better off going to a team possibly like LA where they can acquire some free agents, maybe Philly. But I'll save that discussion for another video. So hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you hit that sub button. Also hit that like button. But till next time, peace.